My name's Caitlin. If you've practiced with me before, welcome back to our little home studio. If this is your first time practicing, it's nice to meet you. Welcome. So we're going to get started today, and I'm going to apologize in advance. I have two tiny humans upstairs who are out of school today. They are going to be as quiet as they possibly can for us. And so we're going to start our practice today, as we normally do, by switching our hat, making sure that we are showing up and being present by closing our eyes in a comfortable seated position as we start to tap into the breath. So we're inhaling in through the nose, sending the breath first down into the belly. Exhaling, allowing the shoulders to drop away from the ears. Your hands can rest wherever they feel most comfortable. Maybe that's on your knees. Maybe that's tops of the thighs. Option to cup the hands right at the pelvis. Or if you've been on your mat for a while or have an understanding or knowledge of any hand mudras, you can certainly choose one for your meditation today. As thoughts come unsolicited, let's see if we can be an observer with our thoughts, acknowledging that they're there and letting them go, bringing our attention back to the breath. Maybe we start to make our exhales just a bit longer than our inhales. Drawing the belly button all the way back to the spine on the exhale, encouraging that stability in the low back, and also creating a space for the lungs to completely empty. Keeping the eyes closed, let's feel our way through a body scan, starting with the toes, the feet, the ankles, noticing any pain or tension, maybe gripping or pulling in the toes. Moving up to the knees and thighs. Do your legs feel relaxed yet stable? Or do they feel tense and tired? Moving to the hips, can you feel the sits bones rooted down into the ground, your tail reaching down towards the earth. What about your hips? Do they feel tight and limited in motion? Does it feel difficult to sit for this long? Notice the spine, the ribs, the side body wrapping around to the abdomen. Bringing your awareness to the chest and shoulders and upper back, feeling, acknowledging any tension, pain. Notice the neck, the esophagus, the jaw, the inside of the mouth. There's clenching or grinding. The skin of the forehead. Are the eyebrows pulled together? Or is the face nice and soft? We're here for 5 more full breath cycles. So full inhales, full exhales. Make them count. Feeling the shoulders and the spine soften on the exhale. Maybe sitting up a little taller on the inhale. After your next exhale, we'll gently open the eyes, and on the inhale, we're sending fingertips up to the ceiling. Biceps are right by the ears. We inhale to sit up nice and tall. Exhale, we're dropping right hand to the left knee as the left hand reaches behind us. And we turn to maybe look over our left shoulder, finding a seated twist. We're aiming to draw the belly button towards the left thigh, finding a twist from our trunk, from our center, and not yanking from the upper back. Option to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. If you need more of a stretch in the front of the neck. So we're here for one more breath. And exhale sends you back to the midline as we again inhale, reaching fingers up to the ceiling, biceps by the ears. Maybe you look up at your sweet hands. And exhale, left hand comes to the right knee, right hand drops behind us in space as we find our seated twist. We bring in attention to the left shoulder as we actively draw it down away from the ear. Right elbow crease is shining out towards the right edge of the mat, externally rotating the shoulder. Option to drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Exhale brings you back to center, and inhale, we lift both arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, this time we're shifting belly right over the thighs as we hinge at the hips, starting to drop the hands in front of us to the earth. So take a moment to read your own body. Our hips are connected with the ground. Spine is nice and straight all the way up through the crown. Elbow creases are shining towards each other or towards the front of the mat. Shoulders are dropped down away from the ears. And our gaze is right in between our four fingers. If this feels comfortable, stay here. If you feel either a little curious or that you've got extra room in your body, we'll begin to drop the forearms, the elbows down to the earth, sending our gaze then right in between the elbows. And we breathe into the belly, feeling the skin of the low back expand. If you feel that your body is still giving you room to play, or you have created that room with your breath, feel free to walk the hands out a little further, maybe bringing the forehead closer to the earth. Keeping the tail, the hips in contact with the mat. We stay for our next inhale. Exhale, we use our hands to gently walk us back up to a seated position. Beautiful. So we're going to come on to our hands and knees into tabletop position. So you can get there either by rolling right through the ankles, or we'll swing our legs off to the side. When you get there, we're going to set ourselves up for success. So I feel like we haven't gone through alignments in the last couple of classes in detail. So we'll walk you through that now. Wrists come right underneath the shoulders. Knees are right underneath the hips. Feet are either tops of the feet are flush with the mat, pressing down firmly, or you can curl the toes under, aiming to bring that pinky toe in contact with the mat. We're pressing into the fingertips of the hands. Hands are nice and wide, so we're creating this doming effect in the wrist. Pressing away from the mat, we dome through the chest cavity, gaze is straight down, belly button is pulled up to the spine to protect the low back. Gorgeous. So we inhale, we drop the belly, lift the tail up to the ceiling, chest comes open, we pull the shoulder blades together, press away from the yoga mat. Exhale, we round through from the tail. We aim to bring the tail up to meet the belly button, dropping the crown towards the earth. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, we round through. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale. We'll round through. Inhale brings you back to tabletop as we bump the hips over to the left. We turn to look past the right shoulder, maybe sinking that hip a little closer to the left heel. Exhale brings you back through center as we take it to the other side. So we drop right hip to right heel, turn to look over the left shoulder. Exhale, back through center. Let's do one more time on each side. Left hip. We turn to look past the right shoulder. Exhale through center. Right hip to right heel. We look past the left shoulder. Exhale brings us back to center. Big toes come together, knees come as wide as the yoga mat as we sink the hips back onto the heels. Gaze is forward before we start to snuggle the belly right between the thighs, melting belly, chest, forehead, all the way down to the mat. Arms are extended out towards the front of the mat as we come into extended child's pose. But we're not just hanging out. So we are still inhaling down into the belly, feeling the skin of the low back expand. We feel the upper back expand, shoulder blades are spread wide across the upper body. Energetically, we imagine the spine reaching out through the tail and extending out through the crown simultaneously, creating more space between each vertebrae. We're here for one more inhale. Exhale, we press into the tops of the feet, claw through the fingertips as we draw ourselves back up, bringing the knees back underneath the hips. We walk the hands up slightly in space, curl the toes under to stay for the inhale, and exhale, we're sending the hips up high towards the ceiling, downward facing dog. So when you get there, let's check our alignment today, noticing how we feel today in comparison to maybe yesterday or days in the past. Elbow creases are shining towards each other, towards the front of the mat. So this is widening the shoulder blades across the back, rotating the shoulders. Ears are right next to the biceps. Hips are rotated externally up towards the ceiling. Toes are pointing slightly towards the midline. Belly button is drawn back to the spine. Belly drops towards the thighs. If this is difficult or this feels like too much, you can always bend your knees to keep length in the spine. We're pressing into the hands, lifting out of the shoulder joint. Beautiful. We stay for the inhale. Exhale, we're making our way to the top of the mat, meeting in a forward fold. So whether you want to get there from one big step, a couple little baby steps, maybe hopping is in your practice, so nice floating jump. And definitely play around with that. We know it's kind to be curious. So we made a forward fold, taking a moment to hang out, literally, letting that neck hang. Maybe you shake the head, yes. And then no. Maybe gently we sway side to side, clasping opposite elbow. Inhale. And exhale, we gently root to rise, rolling up to mountain, nice and slow. Arms come with us up overhead. Left hand grabs right wrist as we open. Right fingertips towards the left side of the mat. We're shining the whole of the right armpit towards the front of the mat. Wrapping that right shoulder blade around the back body. Exhale, draws you through center as we take it to the other side. Right wrist grab, right hand grabs left wrist. And we take the left fingers over towards the right side of the mat. Shining that armpit towards the front of the mat. Neck stays nice and neutral. Exhale through center. Do one more time on each side. And then exhale, we drop the hands right next to the wrists. Palms are facing towards the front of the mat. Doing a quick alignment here. We have feet right underneath the hips. Heels of the foot and heels of the pelvis are in line with each other. Belly is nice and soft. Chest is lifted. Shoulders are pulled down away from the ears. Shoulder blades are pinching together. The ears are right above the shoulders. Let's gently close the eyes and feel the stability of this posture, mountain pose. One more big inhale and a long exhale out through the nose or mouth. And we make our way through our first flow. So a little different than we've done in the past for a warm-up flow. I'll walk you through it a few times and then I'll let you play on your own. So we inhale, arms go down to come up. Palms kiss together and can stay that way as you dive forward, or if your shoulders are tight and you want to do some pectoral work, you can flip the palms externally and swan dive down into your forward fold. Inhale lifts you up halfway. So we are in like a figure 7 shape. Belly button is drawn up to the spine. Gaze is straight down. So you've got one long line from tail to crown. Exhale, fold. Palms come down to the mat. If that means you need to bend your knees to get there, that's fine. And step the left foot back. Then the right foot back. We are in plank. We inhale to shift forward. Exhale, we lower all the way onto the belly. Elbows are nice and tight to the side body. We flip the feet so the tops of the feet are flush against the mat. Inhale and exhale, we press into the fingers. Elbows are tight, rising up into either cobra or baby cobra. Exhale, we float back down. We're doing cobra for 2 more. Inhale, exhale, lift. Knees are engaged, thighs and pelvis are pressed firmly against the mat. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, cobra or baby cobra. Exhale, lower, toes flip. We inhale, exhale, powers you back up to plank. Exhale, hips up high, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Left foot comes to the midline. We inhale, lifting the right leg high. We bend at the knee, drawing the right toes over towards the left side of the mat. We shine the pelvis towards the right. Arms are long and strong here. Inhale, exhale, we're rotating and bringing that right knee across the body to the left elbow. Kicking the right foot out, outside of the foot is flush against the ground. And we inhale, lift left arm up to the ceiling. Big inhale. Exhale, left hand floats right back down and makes contact first before we engage the abdomen, moving from the hip, drawing that right foot back to meet the left in downward facing dog. And we need to even it out on the other side. So we inhale, left leg lifts up high. We bend at the knee, left toes over to the right side of the mat. We shine the pelvis towards the left. 3-legged dog. Exhale, we draw the left elbow across the body to kiss the right elbow and swing that left leg out off the right side of the mat. So left leg and the mat, they're making a T right at the edge. We inhale, right arm lifts up to the ceiling. Big inhale. Exhale, we lower the right arm first, making contact with the hand, then drawing the left foot back to meet the right. We stay in downward facing dog for 1 breath. Exhale, feels your movement as we step it up to the top of the mat. And we roll, mountain, palms kiss together, and descend at the heart space. as we go for a few more rounds. So I'll walk you through the next one too, because it's a little bit more, little different than we're used to. Arms go down and come up. Exhale, we fold. Take your full exhale all the way down. Inhale, lifts you up halfway. Full inhale to get there. Exhale, lower. Beautiful. Hands come down to the mat. We make our way to plank. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale to lower slowly all the way. Feet flip so the tops of the feet are flush against the mat. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Elbows are tight into the side body. We inhale. Exhale, we press into the fingertips, lifting up all the way to cobra. Head is the last thing to rise, or baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, rise. Chin stays tucked until that last moment when we let the head rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale. We rise. Exhale, lower. Toes flip. We stay for the inhale. Exhale powers us up to plank and then sending the hips up, downward facing dog. Inhale, we lift the right leg, three-legged dog, then bend the knees, shining the pelvis towards the right side of the mat. Arms are long and strong. Exhale, we take that right knee across the mat over to the left elbow and then kick our foot out long. Opening left hand up towards the ceiling. So chest is shining over towards the left side of the mat. Exhale, we lower the left hand right back where it came. So upper body's in plank. We move from the hip, from the abdomen to draw our right foot back to meet the left, sending the hips up in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg kicks up high. We bend at the knee, shining that pelvis over towards the left side of the mat. Exhale, takes the left leg across the mat to the right elbow as we kick that left leg out long, opening right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right hand lowers as we draw the left foot back to meet the right. We stay in downward dog for one breath before finding our feet, or making our feet come to meet our hands in forward fold, root to rise up to mountain. Arms kiss together and descend at the heart space. Got one more round. I'll let you play on your own, add or omit anything that does or does not serve you. Otherwise, arms go down to come up. Try to take your full inhales and your full exhales per movement. Sticking with your breath, pausing maybe on any areas that feel really good. Stick with your breath. You're almost done with this sequence and we'll take a little break. When you finish with your sequence and you're in downward facing dog, we'll stay here for one breath. And then instead of stepping up to the mat, we're going to drop the knees. We're going to kiss knees together, arches together, sink the hips back, traditional Balasana, child's pose. We drop the forehead to the mat and send the hands, the fingers, pointing towards the back edge of the mat. Go ahead and let your shoulders round through, really bringing a release to the upper body. Option to clasp the soles of the feet with the fingers if that feels good. Here for one more inhale. Exhale, we bring the hands above the head, pressing into the tops of the feet. We draw ourselves back up to our tabletop position. We're going to crisscross the ankles here, setting them back down and just rolling right through to come onto our bum. If that's uncomfortable and you're like, no way I'm doing that, just swing your legs off to the side and meet us there. When we get there, we're sending both legs out long to begin. Dandasana, staff pose. So we're sitting up nice and tall. We're pressing down through our foundation. So our ankle, the top of the thigh, we're rooted down through the sits bones. If you need to move the fleshy parts of your butt off to the side so that you can feel the sits bones really reaching down into the ground, that's great. And then we lift out of the pelvis. So we're bringing the torso right in line with the hip bones. Straightening up through the spine. And we inhale, both arms come up overhead. On the exhale, we're sending both hands to the left foot. Okay, inhale. Exhale, rolls you back up as we inhale again. Both arms come up overhead. Both hands reach over towards the right. So you may only get to your right shin. Maybe you've got your toes or the outside of your right foot. It's okay, whatever feels right for your body, just in that general direction. We roll up, inhale, arms come up overhead, and then you can see where we're going here to start to flow a little bit. So we're bringing a articulation to the spine, really paying attention to the way we roll, drawing the belly button back towards the spine to protect the low back. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, we send the hands over to the right. Inhale, we roll up. Arms come with us, hands come over to the left. You may start to feel this heat in the body as we are massaging the internal organs, working that abdomen, stoking a fire. Let's do one more on each side. And exhale. Beautiful. This time both arms come up overhead, and on the exhale, we're going to bend the knees, settle that belly right to the thighs, and drop the forehead, the crown, right in between the knees. Seated, forward bend, Paschimottanasana. If you feel that you don't need your knees to be bent, that's great. You can keep the legs straight. We inhale down into the belly, feeling the low back, expand the spine, creating more space. Maybe you begin to drop the chin towards the chest, feeling the way the spine is connected and stretches all the way from the crown down to the tail. One more breath cycle here. Inhale. Long, full exhale. Stay for the next inhale. Exhale, we draw belly button to spine as we start to straighten the legs and roll our way back up to staff pose. Left heel is coming right to the pelvis. Turn here so you can see me. Right to the pelvis, right leg is extended out long. Toes are pointing up to the ceiling, and toes of the left foot are nice and active. So drawing the toes back towards the shins helps protect the knees. Right leg, or again, pressing down firmly through the heel and the top of the right thigh. Right hand can be either on the inner thigh, outer thigh, forearm down to the ground, maybe right next to the shin, palm face down. We inhale, left arm up towards the sky, bringing an awareness into opening the chest. If this is enough for you, stay here. Or option to start to draw the left fingers over towards the right toes, staying nice and neutral in our neck so we're not dumping any weight into that beautiful, important, overworked neck. We stay for one more inhale. Exhale slowly, we start to rise back up through center. Right leg is going to straighten out so that it's in line with the hip. So we've got foot in line with the ankle, in line with the knee, in line with the hip. Left foot is going to cross right over the top of the right thigh before then descending to the ground. So sole of the foot is going to be right next to the right knee. Left toes are pointing out towards the front of the mat. Two options here. We can either hook the inner elbow of the right arm around the outside of the left knee, or if you have a little bit more range of motion in the shoulder area, you can always bring the outside of the right shoulder to the outside of the left knee to find your twist this way. Otherwise, we'll bring elbow to knee, maybe placing the hand right on the heart space, finding our twist. Exhale, we unravel. We let the knee drop open, bringing that left ankle right on top of the right thigh, just above the knee. We inhale to grow tall, and exhale, we start to lean forward. So you can either bring some support to the left leg by clasping around the left knee and grabbing onto that ankle to lean forward to find that stretch both in the outside of the left hip, the hamstring of the right leg. Or if your left leg feels supported here, you can always clasp onto the sole of the right foot, interlacing the fingers, maybe dropping the forehead towards the knee. One more inhale. And exhale, we release whatever hold we have, either on the left leg or the right foot, and we start to sit up nice and tall. And we will gently use our hands to guide our left leg. off the right. Beautiful. Right heel comes into the midline. Left leg shoots out long at an angle. We're pressing down firmly through the heel, the upper thigh. We're beginning to notice how this side feels different than the other. Left hand can come either to the inner thigh, outside of the thigh, or arm to the ground, maybe. We inhale, lift, right arm up to the sky. We're opening and shining the pectorals, the chest, the heart space, out through midline. Stay here if this is enough for you. Otherwise, we'll draw the right fingers over towards the left toes. Feeling maybe a pretty intense stretch at the low back on the right side. Maybe that intensity is in your left hamstring. Maybe it's in your right bicep, tricep. We're here for one more inhale. Exhale draws us up through center as we bring that left foot in line with the ankle, in line with the knee, in line with the hip. And gently we guide the right ankle over the left thigh until we drop the sole just to the outside of the left knee. Right toes are pointing forward. We clasp the left elbow to the outside of the knee as we find our seated twist, really drawing the thigh and the belly button towards each other. Exhale, we unravel. Left leg stays where it's at as we begin to drop that right knee open to the right. So we can be supported here by grabbing the right knee, maybe the right sole. Maybe even you bring that right foot to the inner elbow of the left arm. Maybe wrapping the right arm around the knee, giving this little cradle effect. Or if the leg feels nice and stable, right where it's at, we don't do that, and maybe we clasp the fingers around the left foot. Either way, we're going to do what feels right in our body as we bend from the hips, finding a bound forward fold. We're here for one more breath. Exhale, we draw belly button back to spine as we sit up nice and tall. We help the right leg along by lifting it off of the left. Perfect. We're going to come to lie on our back to close out our practice today. When you get there, let's draw knees up to the chest, interlacing the fingers around the shins or grabbing each shin individually. Words are hard sometimes when you get all bent out. If that is still uncomfortable for you or not something that you are wanting to participate in today, you can always grab the hamstrings right underneath the knees. Gently we'll pull the knees towards the chest, letting the low back grow nice and heavy. Let's stay for one more full breath cycle, so full inhale, really squeezing the knees. Full exhale. And at the end of your exhale, we gently drop both soles to kiss the mat before extending out long towards the front of the mat. Maybe right foot to right corner, left foot to left corner. We drop the hands right by the hips, palms face up or face down towards the mat. Chin tucks slightly towards the chest, keeping length in the back of the neck. Shoulders are pinned down to the ground as we start to dip into our relaxation pose, Shavasana, which is where I will leave you today. If you have time to stay in Shavasana for 2, 5, 10 minutes, I would definitely encourage you to do so. And if you can't, I understand, but maybe come back to it tonight before bed. Thank you for sharing space with me today. Thank yourselves for showing up. It is the most difficult thing that we can do sometimes. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.